one of the strengths of Bel'veth support is that you don't really need any of the other keystones. You actually get to press the attack because you can proc it with your E very quickly. It's very easy to proc it with just Bel'veth's base attack speed because she has a very high base attack speed, which means that she doesn't really require a defensive option purely because her E gives 70% damage reduction, so you don't really require an actual tanky keystone to survive. Now, where she actually becomes strong, we fight in the bottom like tri-bush because technically Bel'veth has 4 abilities at level 1, so she does have a really strong thing. But where she really becomes really strong is actually level 2 in lane, because you're able to use 2 dashes forward to close the gap with the enemy and then knock them up with a W. You can see it right here, and that resets your Q, so that way you can actually chase again, and that gives you like a very large range to engage on the enemy, especially like early at level 2, that they really can't expect it. This game and more being streamed over on my Twitch. Submit your games in my Discord for review. So the next thing is also there's a big power spike when you hit level 3, because now the enemy team knows exactly what you want to do because you've already done it to them once with the dashing forward and knocking them up. So what they'll try and do is they know that once most players, like good players, they know that when you dump moves, you need to punish the player, you need to attack back. You need to they've used for instance, I've used my Q on Bel'veth and I've used my W. The enemy team didn't use any abilities. They need to use abilities back to trade to make it worth for them. Otherwise, we just get we just get a lead for it. Well, Bel'veth, when she hits level 3, because of the 70% damage reduction, when you go in and do that, and then they use their abilities to trade back on you, you take no damage, and they'll proc an entire press the attack. So it basically is the playstyle takes advantage of good players because it's directly the opposite of what is ingrained in your brain as a good player to punish people. You want to always punish people when they're using their abilities, because otherwise they just get to do it for free. Well, Bel'veth doesn't get punished when she uses her abilities on the Bel'veth support. Amy bot lane has to respect really hard, but you can see here, I get on him, I press E, no longer taking very much damage. The Milio knocks me out of the E, which lowers the damage reduction, but we actually got a lead for that. Plus the lane is frozen, so you can see Bel'veth also has a really good. She has really strong chase potential. This Jinx actually can't escape from me. I have so much mobility to get where I want to go. They really can't escape from me except for trying to kill me, which is really hard for them when I have 70% damage reduction. Now the next thing that Bel'veth is looking for is hitting level 6 in lane. So the second that you hit level 6 on Bel'veth, you want to actually look for doing Rift Herald with your team, because normally this is the thing on Bel'veth jungle, you're prioritizing Rift Herald because of the passive that it gives you, but when it's on support, it's even stronger because you can literally just sit in a lane and you're not getting punished for it, and create a huge opportunity for getting turrets. Hit 6 off that ward. Because I hit 6, I now have this form. When you're true form, you actually can dash over walls, so you can go over a wall that people don't expect you to, like right here. I'm technically in a spot they did not expect because I was able to get behind them. We get to burn Jinx's flash for that. Now I travel with the jungler up to Rift Herald at this point, because now that you are 6, you need to make sure that you are level 6 before you go for this. I press E, the Master You Can't Kill Me because of 70% damage reduction, he gets baited. I use the R to actually restore some health. Now I'm going to help the jungler get Rift Herald, and what that's going to do is that's going to give me 180 seconds of my power that creates, my passive that creates minions whenever they die. And what we can do is we can use that with the Herald in a lane in order to take a turret that people would really not expect that would be possible for us to kill. We look for a little play, we don't get anything. I reset to go bot lane. I have 130 seconds of it left. We go to bot lane. You can see here, I don't have to last hit or anything. I just have to be around whenever the minions are getting killed. And that goes for enemy minions and your minions. And because of that, we're able to set up an extremely huge wave here. I'm actually just trying to see what I can, doing any damage on the Jinx, so that way when we actually push this into the turret, she can't clear it. We have a huge wave. She can't sit under turret to defend against us because we can dive her. Because of that, we're just going to take 4 turret plates. And the wave is so big even that if somebody even came down here, they could absolutely get destroyed. Because they don't expect it, we just get to take an entire turret with... You can see how many minions that is. It's like crazy. It's a crazy amount of minions. We take it with all 4 plates before the plates fall off. You can see even Bel'veth can be in dangerous positions and is still extremely safe. Also overbaits the enemy team a lot because they don't realize that like Bel'veth Support still has the same powers that Bel'veth has, where she's extremely safe with her 70% damage reduction. Like that Master Yi had no chance of killing me there, which baits them. And now every kill that you get when you have your Void, like specifically your Rift Herald or your Baron's Soul, actually resets the entire duration of that. And because of that, we're able to just pick up another turret right there because they basically took that fight. I've got another 150 seconds of this passive. You can see we've built a humongous wave. Like, how do they deal with this wave? We just get 70% of the inhibitor turret's damage just like that for free. And we still have 120 seconds of it left. What your job kind of is as the Bel'veth is you are an engage for your team, and then you are you tank during your E. You want to use your E to make sure that you're maximizing how much damage you're reducing. Because if you survive and somebody dies for overextending for you, you get to use your R to give yourself bonus health and do a shitload of damage. It's like 300 base damage if somebody's in that circle. Man, that's the strengths of the Bel'veth Support, really. So, once again, we've got 170 seconds of it. Creating our wave mid here. Because we got such a huge wave, we just get to take this entire turret for free. Very easily pick up champions that are just overextending because of how safe we are. Can't really chase Master Yi, unfortunately. Master Steve is too fast. Whenever you're in your true form, you can hop over walls with your Q, and you usually, when you have a directional Q, you also have the opposite direction. So if you hop over a wall and a champion is there, you can just immediately hop back over the other wall to safety. So as long as I'm here mid, all these minions are turning into minions that make us stronger. You can just see how strong this is, even though this is like a passive of the kit. Like how strong this minion power actually is. So as long as you're playing correctly and you're prioritizing these objectives with your jungler, specifically like Rift Herald and Baron, you can just create incredible advantages very quickly, and nobody on the enemy team can really usually deal with it. What you want to do is your max order on this champion is you max W first, max Q second. The W is your CC move that knocks people up, and it gets a really low cooldown if you actually max it. And you're building what you were building previous patches. You're building Evan Shroud. I think with the new patch, you're still building it as well. But you rush plated steel caps just because of how strong having an additional damage reduction is on Bel'veth. And you turn that into you build the anathemas afterwards, and you put it on the usually the strongest carry for the enemy team. And your job is just play huge like disruption. You can see I'm able to hop over a wall here, catch Malzahar completely out of position with my Fiora. It's just a very, very powerful kit for you to abuse as a support. It has a lot to it inherently without items that you don't really need the items to abuse. Now the thing is, would I say pick the support into anything? No. I think that there are things that can abuse this, but specifically when you are against a squishy ranged support and an immobile AD carry, Bel'veth Support seems extremely strong. Just because if you basically control the entirety of the lane phase, you get to decide when fights start. You can instantly create a fight at any point in time in lane, just because of how far you can actually move. And you're extremely tanky, deceptively tanky while channeling your E. And when you engage, you don't sacrifice your ability to get out either, because you have the Q cooldown is like specific to directions. So you have the two directions you use to get to them to go backwards, which means that you're just safe. You just see the ludicrous amount of minions that we've got here pushing this in. Like, they just can't, it's impossible for them to clear it, because anytime they clear our minions, they instantly become Bel'veth passive minions. So that was just one thing I wanted to show off before the patch eradicates it. Kind of a very interesting pick. It got popularized over in Korea by Grandmaster Support, but then it got widely spread by LS. He was playing it on his climb, and then it got really popular. But there's like a specific use case to it that is just so extremely strong. Join my Discord and submit your games for the next VOD review.